From Lone Star Live, Trump advisor calls CBS producer effing dummy after false alarm about ambulances leaving Mar-a-Lago. This story is fascinating because earlier today, I don't know if you guys saw the breaking news. 2 ambulances were seen leaving Mar-a-Lago surrounded by Secret Service. Everybody was losing their minds. This was it. Some people on Blue Sky were actually posting, these liberals, that Trump had passed on.
Oh my.
Well, as it turns out, this story is absolutely hilarious. What actually happened is these are part of a normal motorcade. They were not, as we know, in use, according to reports. Journalists have formed an unofficial press pool swarming outside of Mar-a-Lago. So a press pool, for those who don't know, is a pool report is, and I may be wrong about this because I think their whole practice is stupid, but there'll be, say there's an official government event, they'll say, we're only going to have a pool reporter. It's one person who goes in and they film or whatever, and then that is relayed to all the agencies so they can all use it, something like that. So they've created an unofficial pool where they're just hanging out outside of Mar-a-Lago waiting for news. And because they're stupid and don't fact check, when they saw ambulances leave, they reported it as this big breaking story when literally nothing was happening, causing a panic and then getting roasted. Stephen Chung, advisor to Trump, dismissed concerns about ambulances, saying the CBS producer overreacted. Pray for Trump. Pray for President Trump began trending on X at 3:30 p.m. Central. This is 4:30. After a reporter tweeted a tip he said he received from a CBS producer about several ambulances and Secret Service vehicles seen entering and leaving Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida. What really happened? J.D. Vance showed up. That's it. The press has set up a fake unofficial pool because they want to feel important about themselves. In this case, some idiot at CBS overreacted and set off the fire alarm for no reason, thinking they were going to get the scoop of a lifetime. Effing dummy.
So CBS is the new CNN?
Oh, they're all bad,
yeah.
dude.
They're anti-Trump network and eventually going to get divested in the next 4 years if they keep acting like this.
But it's not so much that they're being anti-Trump. It's that they don't do anything substantial in terms of reporting. Everybody assumes these reporters must be telling the truth, or I should say the default libs do. Meanwhile, the rest of us are like, I don't believe what you're saying. You got to show me a video and prove it. And so this is what happens when you take people who have no idea what's going on, put them outside. This is a perfect example of what would trigger a Gelman amnesia effect. Even in us, because what do, right? You look at this story and you're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Ambulances were leaving. Then it turns out, according to officials, the ambulances are a normal part of the motorcade. It's nothing special. It's like they're there for a variety of reasons, whatever it may be, emergencies maybe. And you're like, oh, but I didn't know that.
That's where Trump sleeps in the ambulance. No one sees him.
The next time the CBS reporter reports something,
taking a nap.
The next time the CBS reporter reports something, we're going to say, oh, wow, look at that. See, the CBS guy's going to say, oh, I just saw a giraffe leaving the property. We're going to go, wow, a giraffe. Instead of saying, this guy's full of it and he's probably lying or wrong. It wasn't a giraffe, it was a zebra.
I'm a little more on guard against CBS now. I know that CNN's been apt to say weird things, MSNBC, even, I don't know about Fox News lately, but CBS seems like they're more neutral, I guess. They're all owned by, I don't want to say the same people, but a lot of the same companies, I think, own these media networks. I should check out who owns CBS. I'll do that.
Well, there's been a big humbling effect on a lot of the legacy media outlets, so they're just kind of looking for anything they could point to like, tip the narrative somewhere else where like things are not going.
Well, I mean,
anything. So they're
that's,
craving crumbs of like, ooh, something wrong.
Anything that's like, I mean, look, if it were true, it would be a big story.
Yeah.
So the guy got out over his skis, and that's fairly normal with reporters. Like if they see something, they're just like, ooh, I want to go and blah blah blah. Especially if it's Donald Trump. Because if something had happened, the guy that breaks the news is like, look at me, I broke the news, I got But I mean, with X and stuff, the way that it is, like if you report something and people can confirm that your reporting was right. And that's really all that happened is he reported this happened. Ambulances left with a bunch of Secret Service cars around it. And then that picked up on X and then blah, blah, blah. Now, what went on in Blue Sky, that's a whole different thing. But the stuff that I was seeing on X was all just people reporting what he reported. 2 ambulances and multiple cars of Secret Service. 2 ambulances and multiple cars of Secret Service. There's multiple accounts that were reporting that. the fact that people on Blue Sky took it and did a whole lot of the what's it called, fan fiction stuff they do,
Jumping to conclusions. Yeah.
not just jumping to conclusions. They want bad things to happen. So over at Blue Sky, they're going to be like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be great if Donald Trump died? Wouldn't it be great if this happened? Wouldn't it be great if he broke his leg or anything bad that can happen to Donald Trump?" Blue Sky is going to be throwing a party about. So I mean, like I said, when you were on over here on X, it was fairly accurate reporting. These, it was like I said, everything was a couple ambulances and a bunch of Secret Service. I didn't see Blue Sky because I don't have a Blue Sky account, and I think I might have to make one just to go and collect some lols. But but yeah, it doesn't surprise me that the factual stuff went around, and it also doesn't surprise me that the people
spun it into something.
Especially on Blue Sky, man, they really want him to be a bad guy. They believe that he is the worst thing ever. I mean, there's even still some of the far left that are on X that are consistently saying things like, "Oh, look, you guys are going to regret it." There are people that are there's a couple specific accounts that are already saying things like, "Look, you guys asked for this. You guys asked for this. You asked for this," and it's like, well. Yeah, literally, we know. Like, what are you saying? They're implying that there's terrible things happening. It's like the man hasn't even been inaugurated yet. Like this is all just like setting up stuff. And yes, everyone knows that like most people in the country are comfortable with
that's like
deporting people and stuff.
Like the funniest thing about Trump winning is you get, Joe Walsh saying, Attorney General Matt Gaetz. That's what you voted for when you voted for Donald Trump. Congratulations. And literally all of us are like,
yes.
As if it's like a gotcha.
Like we literally we did. We actually are very happy with that choice. It's a bummer to see that he won't be, but yeah, that we did vote for it. They don't seem to understand that we like Trump.
Yeah.
Like we like Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
They're like, you must think the same way as me. So this is what's happening now. And we're like, oh, thank heavens.
That's always
here's the other thing too about like Trump is going to use the military to deport people. When the migrants were sent to Martha's Vineyard, they called the National Guard to round them up and bring them to a dorm housing at a military base.
You mean a camp?
That's right.
Oh, geez.
I'm being polite, but the National Guard rounded up these legal asylees.
Biden's America.
That's right.
And
that's Biden's America.
And unfortunately, it'll be other Republicans that block Trump from accomplishing things like this. I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but Rand Paul broke with Trump. And actually, I think he came out against using the military for mass deportations, calling it a huge mistake. If Rand Paul thinks that, there are going to be many other senators who think
I don't know about many other. Rand Paul is very libertarian. And so
we could start with Murkowski. We could start with Susan Collins.
They're barely Republicans. They're the people that are. I mean, I think Collins is independent now, isn't she?
I think she's still a Republican.
Okay,
but the argument would be that she's the only one as who could win in that area as a Republican. I think it's from Maine for Collins.
Sure.
Rand Paul has the unique civil liberties standpoint.
That's the thing. It's like Rand Paul is going to do the libertarian stuff, but still, most of the I genuinely believe this. Most of the people most of the Republicans, like they see what happened on November 5th with the election. They know that Donald Trump has a mandate, and they also know that if they are pushing back against the president too much, and they're up for election. I mean, senators are every 6 years, so there's some time in between it. But like they know that the Republicans want to get stuff done. There are things that need to happen, and it's good for the country. Just like I'm sure you're aware of or maybe you're aware of the one of the rules changes that they want to do, so that way you can get amendments back in to bills that are brought to the Senate. Right now, everything is an up or down vote on a huge bill, whatever it is, right? Like that's a bad thing. You have to be able to put amendments into bills and change stuff around, so that way you can take stuff out as well as put stuff in, and that gives power to the Senate. Like these things are important, and the Senate if the Senate has that power, they can actually help to do good things. And Donald Trump is a deal maker, so if he gets what he wants, and the senators can put amendments in, and they get what they want, then you could see actual progress being made with some serious cutbacks on the in the bureaucracy, and that's that's something that the Republicans have been giving lip service to for ages. And honestly, it would be a good thing for America. So I don't know that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to fight Trump just to fight him. And when it comes to, specifically like using the military to help get, deport people and stuff, that kind of stuff is something that Rand Paul would always be like, nah, man, nah.
I've got to cap it off of CBS, it would merge with Viacom in 2019. Then CBS merged with Paramount Pictures in 2022. And it's owned now by a company called National Amusements, which is owned by a guy named Sumner Redstone.
National Amusements?
At some point, there's going to be one media company called News.
Yeah, dude. Sumner Redstone's daughter, Shari Redstone, is the chairwoman of
There's
National
already News
Amusements.
Corp.
Right.
It's News
Yeah,
Corp.
but it's not as big. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.